Make sure that still looks good for you guys. Perfect. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I was pleased with the defense that I put up. All right, this is the last book move. This is the Benko Gambit. When white takes this pawn, black gets to open files and get some play against these pawns. So it's very fun to play as black, actually. Okay, let's see what else. Chess.com. Okay, whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, let's just go into analysis mode. So let's go back. Here. Didn't like my b7. It actually wanted me to play queen to b3, holding on to that pawn. Interesting. It's definitely a computer move right there. But now that I see it on the board, how does black easily regain that pawn? Because he's got to spend a move here. Ah, the bishop doesn't have to go there, though. But let's say it does. Then we could play a4. And if we get a5 in, then that's just going to be suicidal for black. So black has to play a5, I believe. And then I don't think there's any follow-up for white. Yeah, Patrick is right. Knight b to d7 is coming. And yeah. So queen b3, definitely a computer move right there. Okay. Let's... yeah, I liked this move when I played it. It forced you to develop that bishop there. Maybe the engine didn't like this. Knight b to d7, at knight f3. Okay, hopefully the stream's not so laggy right now. I turned off the lines of Stockfish. Okay, so you played queen c7, I castled. Yeah, I didn't like rook f to c8 when you played it because the whole point of me putting my bishop here was to prevent you from playing c4. And so I thought this rook was badly placed, and I think my sense was that's why you moved it to b8 later in the game. I thought you should have just moved it there to begin with. What do you think, Patrick? Rook fc8, I was planning bishop d4. Yeah, I think you were playing some hope chess. Because, yeah, if I do take, then you open the c line. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, I lose a piece because both these guys would be attacked. Yeah, I thought the fact that in a couple moves that you moved this to b8 was evidence that rook fc8 was wrong. Okay, queen e1. I was looking at possible queen h4 stuff with maybe some play on the king side. Also from e1, it can support e5 pushes. Okay. Knight d2. Okay, interesting. The evaluation changed there. So it didn't like my knight d2. I'm curious what the engine would have preferred here. I don't think I can play b3. Yeah, I can't play b3 because of that tactic. Maybe I just have to play queen e2. But that seems a little silly to play queen e1 and then queen e2. No, that can't be the move. Engine doesn't like it. Okay, anyway, let's get to the key positions. Yeah, maybe just bring the bishop back. Alright, well I played knight d2. Knight g4. Rook f3. So he was threatening check, king in the corner, and then knight d3, which would have hit the rook on f1 and the bishop on c4. So that's why I brought the rook here. So that if he ever goes knight e3, I can take it and I get two pieces. Alright, so the rook went here. Now, I played h3. I don't know if that was... It may not have been best. He went back here. b3. a5. a5 makes a lot of sense. Maybe get the bishop out here. Could have some a4 ideas to get this rook in the game. And so I made a decision here. I played a4. And in light of how the game went, I'm wondering if rook b1 was the better move here. Just to get off this diagonal and get away from all those tactics. But I suppose, you know, there's bad things about rook b1 here because you do have a4 that you could play right now. Yeah, it looks like a4 is possible here for black. But in light on how, like I said, how the game went, I think I would have preferred this because I wanted to play bishop to b2. So anyway, I played a4. Knight takes. Took with the pawn. I didn't want to leave that pawn on an open file so that the rook can attack it. So that's why I took with the pawn as opposed to the knight. Also, I think if I take with the knight, he still has this tactic. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I forgot my rook is protecting the knight. So if I take with the knight, yes, he takes my rook. But I think I can take with the queen. Because the rook is holding the knight. Yes, okay. So what if I did take with the knight? Maybe that was an improvement. I'm not sure. I thought, bishop a6 looks pretty good. He's attacking the b3 pawn, pestering the knight. If I take with knight, bishop a6. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, well, I think I made the right choice by taking with the pawn. Bishop a6. Now, here's the big blunder of the game. Well, one of the blunders. King f1. So king f1 was not intentional. King f1 was a mouse slip. So what was happening was that I was debating, and this is what I'd like to go through. This is the key position. I was debating e5 and knight b5. And as I was doing my arrows, I don't know, for some reason I was down here or something, and I made the move king f1, which I'm really disappointed in because I really wanted to see how the game was going to go based on these two plans. So I think next time we play, Patrick, I noticed that on chess.com I had the chat disabled. I'm going to enable the chat so that if those types of things happen again, at least it gives us a chance to communicate. Yeah, oh yeah, don't be sorry. I mean, I'm the one who goofed. So, but that being said, King F1 was not the reason why I lost the game. And I said that going into the end game too. I think you played my Rucksack just wasn't. I guess maybe my follow-up for the Rucksack wasn't correct, or maybe I just didn't have anything. Okay, so let's look at e5. This was one idea I looked at. E5, and then, well, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. I wasn't so sure what you were going to do here. I mean, maybe you can take knight, and I mean, I do have this. It looks nice, but then you've got this idea. So here, and you could take the pawn if you want. I mean, you might even play king f8. King f8 might even be good there too. And that's a really nice, that's a nice bishop. So okay, you said you were looking at knight e8 and knight d7. Yeah, I considered those as well. Here, and I thought if you took, I have a check. And then if you want to hold on to this pawn, you have to play king f8. And this looked like I'm about to slaughter you, actually. So I think if I get the knight into g5, knight into g5 looks crushing. Also f5, opening up the f file looks good. You weren't going to take the, okay, yeah, all right, fair enough. So you were going to look at knight here. Yeah, that makes sense. So take. Would you take back? What would be your reply here? I mean, this looks pretty good for white as well. Oh, I see. You were going to look at knight b6 instead of knight f8. Okay. So knight b6. Ooh, Engine really didn't like that move. Why? Let's see. Takes. Probably because knight f8 covers the e6 square. Whereas if you don't go to f8, then you probably don't want to take that because I have queen e6 check, followed by this kind of the similar stuff. Even f5 looks pretty crushing there. Yeah, just take back on f7 later. That makes sense. Probably just king f8, right? No, king h8, I think. Yeah, because you don't want to be susceptible to forks here. You might even be able to get away with king h8. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to debate that or actually sacrificing yeah, actually, I think this is when, yeah, I was looking at this pawn sack idea. So I was going to go e5, and I was looking at, just a second here. Let me just get this right. E5 was the one plan. Oh, knight b5 was the other idea. No, I don't think in this position. No, knight b5 is not good in this position because you could play takes, takes, and then knight takes d5. I'm trying to remember what it was I was looking at. Maybe it was first e5, then you went here. I think that's what it was. Now knight b5, right. And then I thought if you took, I was going to take back this way, giving my knight this square. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go over my my stream again. Oh yes, I remember this. I was looking